What's up guys? Now if you're tired of trying and failing to run advertising campaigns using Facebook ads, Google ads, LinkedIn, whatever it happens to be, and you want to learn a way that you can not just scrape by making your money back or making 100 or 200% return on the money that you're spending, and you want to be able to make up to 8 times the money that you spend on ads back, then this video is for you. I'm literally going to be breaking down and showing you the secret formula that I've literally used over the last just over a year to generate over $1.5 million by spending only about $200,000 on ads. This is the secret to it. This is the formula that you can apply to your own business, you can apply to your clients' businesses to get insane long-term return on investments from their ad spend. Stay tuned because this is something I'm so excited to share with you. And if you want more free advice on growing your business, landing more clients, making more money, then I strongly recommend that you hit subscribe, you drop a like, and you drop me a comment below and get involved in the discussion. Now, I'm going to break down the 5 steps to how I've been able to get an 800% return on investment from my own advertising campaigns. And step number 5, this is the one right here that most people just completely disregard, and most people don't have any realization of how important step number 5 is here. They're all equally as important, but step number 5 is absolutely massive, so make sure you stick around until the end. I'm going to be sharing some absolute gold. This is arguably going to be one of the most valuable videos that I ever will produce, so stay tuned, check it out. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars gone into learning this stuff so that I can bring you this video. Now, step number 1 of this brand new unique strategy that is just going to absolutely crush it for anybody who learns this stuff and who actually applies it is having and developing what I call a killer offer. Now, what I mean by a killer offer is an offer that your ideal prospect and ideal client cannot refuse. So there's several points to developing and refining your offer to the point where people struggle to say no and find it easier to say yes to. I'm not going to go into all of them in this video. If you want to learn how to design and craft a killer offer in your business, then I'll drop a link to another video on killer offers below this video, so you can check that out after this video. But essentially, in a nutshell, the vast majority of business owners or the vast majority of service providers, the vast majority of people trying to sell something, they're not trying to sell it in the way that it needs to be sold. They're not trying to sell it in a way that the prospect or client actually wants to buy it. Now, let me give you a little example of this, and we're going to go back to the personal training example. So let's just say you're a personal trainer and you don't really have any speciality. You don't really know what you're actually good at, what you're better at. Maybe you've got a decent idea. You think you're better at helping people lose weight as opposed to building muscle, but your business isn't designed and structured and positioned around helping one specific type of person solve one specific problem. And you're trying to sell your services. Most people in this situation typically try and sell their services based on being general, right? And they have a general offer. They say to people, come and train with me. I can help you get fit. I can help you, learn your way around the gym. And guess what? People don't want to buy that. That's not why people go to the gym. People don't want to pay a personal trainer. They don't want to join a gym so that they can learn how to find their way around a gym, so they can learn how to get fit. It's deeper than that. What people actually want from joining a gym or working with a personal trainer is they want to achieve a specific result. Now, the vast majority of businesses that I've worked with and the vast majority of businesses that I typically see on a day-to-day basis, they're trying to sell something in a way that people don't actually want to buy it. And guess what? That severely caps people's ability to charge a premium price for what they actually have to offer. And it caps people's ability to attract their ideal client into their business. So go back to the personal training example. How could that personal trainer craft and create a killer offer? Well, it needs to solve a specific problem for a specific person in the right way, so that when that personal trainer or you or whoever are talking to an ideal prospect, they can very simply and easily say, yes, Mr. Prospect, I can help you lose those 5 kilograms over the next 2 months if you work with me. Simple result, sold in a way that they actually want to buy it. So the very first thing is to identify whether or not you're selling your product or service with what I call a killer offer. Something that's easier to say yes to than it is to say no to from your ideal prospect or ideal client. And without this, 2, 3, 4, and 5 just won't work. And your ROI from any paid ad, from anything, is never going to hit anything like these kind of numbers up here. So the second part of this strategy and this process here is to have a free Facebook group, is to have a community, is to have a place on Facebook where your ideal prospect can go and where you can actually communicate with them once they are obviously in there. So the whole point of having a free Facebook group is so that you can communicate, you can deliver value, you can help people solve problems, you can demonstrate to your ideal client that you can help them solve a problem, and you can give before you actually expect to take, right? Gary Vee put it in the terminology jab, 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 right hook. That's exactly what it means. So we really want to create an environment where your ideal prospect enjoys hanging out, where they get value, where they enjoy engaging with the content, where they learn, where they're entertained. We need to create an environment where this is a common norm. And the vast majority of even 7-figure business owners that I see who rely heavily on paid advertising and paid advertising alone, they don't actually have a free Facebook group. They don't actually have an environment where they can nurture those leads and nurture those customers who weren't actually ready to buy as soon as they saw an ad and as soon as they spoke to them. They don't have an environment such as a free Facebook group where they can actually nurture those leads along the path, right? Now, typically, you know, you're only really going to get 3, 4, 5% of leads who come through paid advertising are actually going to be willing to purchase, and that's dependent on what industry you're in and, you know, what you actually do for your clients. But, you know, the number of people who are going to be ready to buy straight away is very, very, very low. So what we're going to do with those other 95, 96, 97% of people who aren't actually ready to purchase yet? And the other thing on the other side of that is it typically takes on average 7 or 8 contact points, i.e. communications or contacts with a particular business, before that person actually feels confident and comfortable to even think about buying that company's product or service. So if you're only relying on a paid ad strategy and you don't actually have a free Facebook group, a place where you can nurture your ideal clients and prospects, then those 7 contact points are going to take much, much longer, right? Or they're just not going to happen at all, which means we're losing out on a very significant amount of business. Now, having this was literally over the last, 12, 13, 40 months, this has literally doubled the revenue and doubled the return on investment that I've actually found from this paid advertising strategy. So if you don't have this in your advertising strategy, this is something that you really, really need if you want to double your return on investment from paid ads. And if you don't know how to start your own free Facebook group, and you don't know how to get your first few members, or you don't know how to grow it, I'm going to be dropping some more videos in the description of this video. There should be some links in there once I've actually got those recorded and uploaded, which are going to teach you how to do that too. Now, number 3, and this is absolutely key before we get into the actual running of the paid advertising strategy, is to have a valuable lead magnet. It's to have something that you can give away for free within your business that's actually going to attract people, get people to opt into your paid ads and get them to actually become a lead. Now, I'll give you some examples of valuable lead magnets. So let's just take in the coaching and consulting space, having some form of free training, webinar, guide, free course, these kind of things work very, very well in the coaching and consulting, online coaching and consulting space. So what about some more real, go back to the personal trainer example, what about them? Well, a free personal training session works very well because it buys the personal trainer an opportunity to have somebody come into their business, to get to know them, to get to know their problems, get to know what they've tried, get to know why it hasn't worked, so that they can position and sell their service of, higher ticket personal training service. They can sell that much more effectively when people are actually in person. So step number 3 is to identify and have something that is of high value that's actually going to help your market, that's going to be highly desirable to them, that you can give away for free in exchange for their contact details. And this is really the thing that you're going to use and run in your paid advertising strategy. We're going to, again, if you haven't seen the video on the value ladder, there'll be a link to the value ladder concept video below this video as well, so you can check that out just to get more familiar with how giving something away for free actually results in staggering return on investments for businesses using paid advertising. Now, step number 4 is to run high converting YouTube, Facebook, or Google ads, right? And what I mean by high converting is that if you've got a killer offer, if you've got a free Facebook group, if you've got a valuable lead magnet, all of these things are pointless unless we've actually got a method of getting eyes onto our offer. And a great quote that I did a live on the other day is that the modern day oil barons are actually the people who can control traffic, who can control with paid advertising and get an infinite amount and number of eyes and ears on their business. Now, the best and the most effective way that I personally have found from doing this, and I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on running these types of ads now, is YouTube, Facebook, and Google Ads. These are the easiest platforms to run ads on, the lowest barrier to entry. You can learn these ones pretty quickly, within a few weeks. If you want to learn how, feel free to reach out to me and I can have a chat with you about helping you do that. But ultimately, running YouTube ads, running Facebook ads, and running Google ads to give away the valuable lead magnet, targeting specifically your very specific customer avatar and your very specific ideal client that you really want to work with, using highly targeted, highly specific YouTube ads, Facebook ads, and Google ads to distribute this valuable lead magnet, to gain leads contact details in exchange for their email address, in exchange for the valuable lead magnet. This is the way to go. This is what we use to ultimately grow our lead base, grow our pipeline, get more eyes and ears onto our offers, is paid advertising on these very platforms. And number 5 is the absolute key and the absolute secret to getting the kinds of return on investments like 800% from your paid advertising strategies. Now, you'll remember before that I said, only a few percent, 2, 3, 4, 5% of people who actually opt into paid ads are going to be ready to become a customer at that time. Well, without having a strong content game in your free Facebook group and a place where your ideal prospects and clients are going to enjoy hanging out and enjoy learning, without having a strong content game, this is going to be, at least half, if not, only 20. Typically, a lot of people who run ads and just rely on ads are only really ever going to be seeing 150, 200, 300% return on their ads, absolute max. And that's doing really, really well. Most people probably won't even break even just relying on this point as ad costs are rising, etc. So what do I mean by having a strong content game? Well, it means educating, entertaining, and engaging your prospects who weren't ready to buy straight away with good quality content. And largely, I personally, and especially talking to my clients as well, I personally encourage them to focus on video, because at the end of the day, people buy from people, right? People buy from the leaders of the company. They want to be associated, they want to be related with that person, related to that person. And the best way of building those relationships, building that trust, is through video. So having a strong content game, pushing out regular video content, pushing out regular free trainings, pushing out regular workshops and events and guides, and even doing Facebook Lives and these kind of things. This is what I mean by a strong content game. Now, if you want to learn how in more detail to actually develop your own really strong content strategy and how to produce content that doesn't just, fill a page, but actually gets people to take action, educates them on your product, educates them on, what's going to happen if they don't actually fix their problem, educates them on how they can fix their problem, and actually even starts them along that journey for free, letting them and enabling them and educating them on how to take the first few steps towards solving their problem with your techniques and strategies. Now, obviously, we don't need to give away the whole game. You don't need to give away everything about your product and service, everything about your solution. What we need to give away is those aha moments, those realizations, and what you do and what you do for your clients and what you do for your business actually works, and it's actually going to work for your prospects. Now, if you can do that in your content, if you can answer the questions that are burning in their mind, This is where market research comes in, so that you know those questions to answer. If you can answer those questions, if you can help them solve those problems, and remember, give before you take, then this is ultimately what's going to result in an ad campaign that might only give you a 300% return on investment. This is what's going to catapult your paid advertising campaigns to an 800% or even more potentially return on investment from paid ads over the long term. Now, if you want to learn any more about any of these topics, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, I will be making more videos and I'll be dropping them below in the summary. Make sure you do hit subscribe, drop me a like and drop me a comment, ask me any questions. I'll be happy to answer those.